Alrighty guys, we're back for some 4-color tokens, and this is a March of the Machine, the Aftermath, Standard Brew. We're going to go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked, but first things first, for anyone who may not know, I'm Red Cat and I play aggro decks, and any decks with red in them as well, so I hope that sounds fun to you. Also, we do got that Discord link down in the description if you're interested in joining that up. Okay, what do we got in the build here? This one's based around Jinnie, Jetmir's second, a 3-mana, 3/3 legendary creature, but we have all 4 of them because it's going to be very important in here. If you would create 1 or more tokens, you may instead create that many 2/2 green cat creature tokens with haste, or that many 3/1 green dog creature tokens with vigilance. So this ability is going to pair beautifully with all the incubator tokens we got in here, like Glistening Dawn is a 4-mana sorcery speed, incubate X twice, where X is the number of lands you control. So what ends up happening is the incubator tokens still come into play with those +1/+1 counters, but instead you can turn them into like a hasty cat. So essentially on turn 4, if you have your 4 land, there's some ramp in here, right? If you have your 4 land, these come out with 4 +1/+1 counters on it, and then you can have them be 2/2 hasty cats. So on turn 4, you're swinging in with 2/6/6 hasty creatures from Jinnie. Oh, buddy, that sounds pretty powerful, huh? So we have a lot of other stuff in here that creates tokens, though. So Norn's Inquisitor, of course. We played with this card a few times in the past, actually, and it is really strong, dude. So it's a 2-mana, 1/1. When it enters the battlefield, incubate 2. Okay. Whenever a permanent you control transforms into a Phyrexian, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Pretty solid creature overall, guys. It really is. We have a Progenitor Exarch here for a double X and a white. It's a 2/1, and when it enters the battlefield, you incubate 3 X times. So you can drop this as a 1/2 for 1 white mana, and it still has this bottom ability here where you can tap it, transform target incubator token you have. Okay. Or it could be like a 3-mana card that comes in as a 1/2, obviously. Only you get an incubator token with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Or it could be a 5-mana card, and you guys get the point at this point, right? It's pretty solid overall, it really is. Okay, Elvish Vatkeeper is a 3-mana, rocking Golgari colors up there. It's a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, incubate 2. Okay, not bad, dude. So for 5 mana, you can transform target incubator token you control, double the number of +1/+1 counters on it. It's a pretty cool ability, huh? More ways to incubate. Glissa, Herald of Predation here is a 5-mana, 3/5 legendary creature. We have 3 of them in here. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose one. You can incubate 2 twice. Okay. Transform all incubator tokens you control. Nice. Or, Phyrexians you control gain first strike and death touch until end of turn. Oh, wow, man. I'll tell you what. If you actually get to keep Jinnie on the board with some of these powerful cards, it's going to get gross really fast, huh? So we have a bunch of other stuff packed in here. Some ramp with Citanul Stalwart, which is a card we don't get to see too often. And I think it's just looking for the right home. I really do. I think it's strong. It's a 1-mana, 1/1. You can tap it and tap an untapped artifact or creature you control. So we can tap down our incubator tokens, right? And add 1 mana of any color. In a deck like this that's running 4 colors, I think that's going to be very important, but also just extra ramp sometimes is just huge, right? So Courier's Briefcase, acting as that extra ramp, but also getting us tokens, so that works with the Jinnie, obviously, but then also acting as draw power here because it's not going to be impossible to get that blue source for the bottom ability on Courier's Briefcase. And honestly, we activate Courier's Briefcase way more than you would ever expect, so for all 5 mana colors, you can tap it, sack it, draw 3 cards. Pretty solid, man. When it gets too late and you're up against a mid-range or a control build, that extra draw power really comes in handy, huh? We also have Old Rutstein here. Here's a card you don't see too often, huh? This is a 3-mana, 1/4 legendary creature. When Old Rutstein enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, you mill a card. If a land card is milled this way, you create a treasure token, okay? If a creature card is milled this way, you create a 1/1 green insect creature token. And if a non-creature, non-land card is milled this way, you create a blood token. So not bad at all, man. All of them create tokens, so all the tokens work with Jinnie regardless. And I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see if this one of actually does anything, huh? More one-ofs, we have a single Mondrak Glory Dominus in here. 4 mana 4/4, if one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead, and then it has that bottom ability for 1 and double white, which are Phyrexian manas there. Sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures, put an indestructible counter on Mondrak. Honestly, maybe we should have 2 of these. I'm not really sure. It was kind of hard to find room for a lot of cards in here, because obviously we needed to add some form of removal. I never play with enough removal. We have Unleash the Inferno here. I think this is going to be a great pick since we're seeing a lot of Selesnya enchantments, and like a lot of Selesnya enchantments, right? So Unleash the Inferno is a 4 mana, instant speed. It's rocking Jund colors up there. Unleash the Inferno. This is one of the reasons to splash red in here, of course. So Unleash the Inferno deals 7 damage to target creature or planeswalker. 7's pretty good. It gets around a lot of stuff in Selesnya enchantments even after they're done buffing it. It might even be able to hit a nice chunky Catilda or something, you know? And then when it deals excess damage this way, you destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls with mana value less than or equal to the amount of excess damage. Pretty solid card overall, guys. It really is. I would not be surprised if the meta starts to build more Jund builds to take on the Selesnya enchantment builds, because Jund is very versatile. They got so many answers for so many different things, you know? More removal. Went for a couple Fateful Absence here. It's just solid overall, and it's going to be rare, but sometimes up against like a control deck or something, there's going to be a moment where they try to wipe the board, and you can actually just use the Fateful Absence on one of your own creatures, since they barely drop any creatures sometimes, right? And you get a clue token that might help you draw into something better than just removal. And if you have the Mondrak, you get a couple clue tokens, which is pretty cool. Or, you never know, you might want to turn those clue tokens into hasty cats, right? So I think Fateful Absence is going to be perfectly fine. And speaking of Selesnya enchantments, I'm rocking a single Destroy Evil here as well. So 2 mana instant speed, can either destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater, looking at you, Shieldred, right? Or destroy target enchantment. So the mana base, guys. Oh boy, another reason to splash red in here is actually Crucible of Defiance. We do have 25 total land, which I think is going to be totally fine. Crucible generates those spirit tokens, which, you know, it's a token build, and having them with Jinnie Face sounds pretty good to me, huh? So obviously we have all the legendary lands. We got the Who Endures, the Abandoned Mire, the Seat of the Empire. Some basics in here, a couple forests and plains, and then the rest of it I thought about for a little bit. I'm a little concerned about the Triome slowing us down at the beginning, but overall, I don't think we're going to get slowed down too much. Do have a single Mirrex in here as well. It generates tokens, so that can be important. But also, Mirrex is actually a great way to mana fix for a turn. Has that ability where add 1 mana of any color, activate only if Mirrex entered the battlefield this turn. I think that's super interesting, man. And I want to try out Mirrex in more builds that I think need early mana fixing. You know what I mean? Like, make sure we get a turn 1 when we need that turn 1 down type of deck. So I don't know. I like Mirrex. Like I said, I thought about the dual lands for a little while. Hopefully I landed on something good here. Honestly, we probably did. I've been struggling more with 2-color decks and actually getting the mana I need in 2-color decks than I have been in my 3 or 4-color decks. So I think we'll be fine. Bunch of honorable mentions, but I'm actually not going to go over them. They're kind of here. So just to kind of say I thought about these for the build, right? So Drown and Icor, Gallagreeters, Blighted, Burgeoning, which I think is a pretty neat card. Jewel Thief, Nissa, we got Elvish Norn over here in the honorable mentions. Sculpted Perfection is probably more janky than I'm thinking, but I think it could have been neat. Essence of Orthodoxy, Burn Down the House, but we're really just splashing that red. But other than that, if we had more red in here in general, this would be a perfect pick, huh? Invasion of Tolvada, I think that works with a lot of stuff in here. It has that token backside. Also, Old Rutstein sending stuff to our grave too, so maybe another time, huh? Nahiri's Resolve could have been neat, Vraska, and I put the Llanowar Waste over here just to remind everybody how afraid I am to actually play these Pain lands in a Soldier and Mono Red meta, man. So we do have some Pain lands over here, but not all of them, so. All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? Let's go ahead, take this into some ranked and see how we do. All right, what am I expecting from the build? Well, I'm expecting somewhere like in the middle this time, honestly, like a 50-50 split, something like that. As long as we can actually see the mana we need, which I honestly, I think we will. See, we already got all 4 colors in our opener, so no turn 1, only 2 land, but we got 25 in the deck. The opponent goes first here. At least we kind of have early removal, right, on turn 2. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think this is fine. I don't know if it's the best hand, but it's definitely not a mulligan, I would say. Okay, Seat of the Empire. All right, let's get the Jetmir's Garden down. For the sake of not taking damage, we might play the Seat, but... Oh. The Lunarch Veteran's one we don't get to see too often. Okay, I think it's just gonna get... It's gonna be the Sentinel play over the Fateful Absence. I think Fateful Absence, yeah, we wouldn't mind hitting a 3-drop, but... Oh, Anointed Peacekeeper, well... Even if we had the 2 open, they still could have targeted the Fateful Absence. So I don't know what they hit here, because we don't have all the green sources for the Jinnie Fate without a second, without something that Sentinel can tap down. So honestly, tough decision. Probably Fateful Absence, right? What would you guys choose? Maybe it's Jinnie Fate. I don't think it's Glissa. Even though that would... Well, no. It's not the 4 or 5 drop. Let's see. Activated abilities of sources of the chosen name cost 2 more. Spells your opponent's cast with the chosen name cost 2 more to cast. So that's only while the Peacekeeper's on the board, right? So... What did they choose? They chose my Jinnie Fay! Ah, you monsters. Oh, Proving Ground. Okay. So, we have second Sentinel. That'll be the 2 mana. We'll have Fateful Absence open then, so we can successfully go Proving Ground, right? That's good. That's the double green in case the, What have I been calling these guys? In case the Stalwart ends up dying or something. But yeah, now we have the 2 mana available for the Fateful Absence. We probably hit Peacekeeper. I really don't like having them on tap because you never know when they have protection. But if they drop an Adeline, then we have to hit that over the Peacekeeper. Period. Adeline does get hit by Seat of the Empire, though. I guess Skrelv is open, too. That I almost fell for that, dude. I fall for that sometimes. Skrelv tricks me, man. Yeah, Skrelv was open there, so... Voice of the Blast, and they probably keep it open, too, huh? So if we go... How do we want to do this? Voice of the Blast is definitely going to be a pain. Opponent, I love the deck, man. I haven't seen a life gain build in quite some time. We go for the swing here. Hexproof from a color. They have the mana open, so they would have taken 2 if we would have attempted it last time. I think we go no blocks. We'll wait till the very end. We'll target Voice. They're not going to tap down their Skrelv, man. They're just not. Maybe I hold back. Yeah, they're going to keep that open regardless. But I think holding back there is completely fine. Seat of the Empire is probably... I mean, this is colorless, right? Whenever we target with that, because it's a land. So, Jinnie Fay for 5 mana. Hopefully it's not instant removal, right? If we can go Jinnie Fay into Glistening Dawn, we might just be able to keep up pace. Keeping Seat of the Empire open is something we do when we're actually sweating a little more, right? Which maybe I should be sweating? I don't really know. I think holding Fateful Absence back is fine. Maybe we should have just hit Skrelv with the Fateful Absence, but I don't really like doing that. Maybe that was the play, though. They had 2 mana, and they would have drawn, too, because this investigates, and they had the 2 mana open there. Swing for 8, sure. We'll take the 8 for now. They have 2 in the air here. See, the Empire no longer hits Voice of the Blessed, so we go... We got to... Tough decisions, man. I wish this was a land, but that's pretty good too, honestly. Incubate 2 twice at the beginning of combat. I like the Glissa, but I think we got to get some big old chunky things on the board here. And we're going to go... We don't need the haste. They're going to get 4. So let's make sure. That's a 7-5, dude. What on earth, man? Okay. Let's just get some big chunky creatures down, huh? And technically Fateful Absence is open, so we probably attempt to hit the Skrelv on their turn. We don't want to tap down all of our creatures, though. I don't know. I think I put myself between a rock and a hard place not taking out the Skrelv earlier. There's something like that goes against my entire being to use a 2-mana instant removal on a 1-mana card, but it would have made sense, I think. Voice of the Blessed is going to get flying soon, huh? And then, oh, and then it's just game. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. 4 or more +1/+1 counters has flying and vigilance. Crap. Well, they create a 1/1. The Lunarch Veteran buffs the Voice of the Blessed, and that's game, because we can't take out Voice of the Blessed because Skrelv is on the board. Ah, well, GG, opponent. I think this was actually just my fault, guys. I do. Yes, Skrelv being an absolute pain in the butt there. And Voice of the Blessed, actually, I mean, just like underplayed cards, dude. Just massive props to the opponent for having a pretty cool deck overall. Good game. I don't know if I dropped them the GGs, but they deserved it. The Archangel Elspeth looking sweet, dude. I'll tell you what. I bet they can climb quite successfully with this, man. This looks solid. So, we could have... So, what I needed to do when I had my mana open was use the Fateful Absence on the Skrelv immediately. Unfortunately, at that point then, the only removal we had in hand would have been the Seat of the Empire, and Voice of the Blessed was getting over the Seat of the Empire anyways, but we might have been able to save some damage early on there. I mean, just how cool is this, though, huh? How cool is getting out these dogs with 4 +1/+1 counters on it from the Jinnie Fae? Yeah, I can't successfully say that that would have been anyone's game. Even if I would have played that out a little better earlier, I think that was going to be heavily leaning towards the opponent based on what we saw, so. All right, pretty cool, though. I think, oh yeah, I definitely think we can do a thing. We saw the mana that we kind of sort of needed to see. Just, I feel like maybe having 5 land on the board towards the later part of that game would have been better than the 4 for a few turns, but you can't really complain when you get your 4th mana and you have a couple of your ramp on the board too, so. Let's see, Exarch doesn't come out unless we do a 3-drop, so Stalwart isn't ramping with anything yet anyway, so we're going to start with the Garden, and then we're going to have to get the Thicket down. And we'll have Destroy Evil open, or maybe we do just go Stalwart. If it was turn 1 Stalwart, there was a chance that we saw one of our 2-drops. Yeah, crap. Norn's Inquisitor. Well, I definitely got punished there. So if we would have turn 1 the Stalwart. Oh, it's not. Yeah, we got punished. Oops. I'm sorry, guys. So what it could have been was a turn 1 Stalwart, turn 2 Norn's Inquisitor, because we had the Caves, right? So it could have been Thicket, Caves, and then use the Stalwart ability, tap down the Incubator, and play a 1-mana Exarch. That would have been sick, dude. That would have been so sick. Deathcap Blade, okay. Yeah, we're kind of sort of in trouble here. Yeah, I should have played that Stalwart earlier. That's okay. That's okay. We still have a decent lineup, and at least eventually these 2/2s can trade with the Harvesters, which they'll actually be 3/3s if they don't remove the Inquisitor, huh? Harvester knows how to put on a beating, though, so I might want to block this turn. Vatkeeper might not be a terrible trade for the Harvester. We go land into Mondrak. At least it's a 4/4. It does something. Doesn't do much against Go for the Throat, though. Go for the Throat takes it out immediately, unless we have the extra mana to protect it. We should block, keep the Inquisitor. I think there's a lot of great reasons to block here. If we take the 6th, there's like... I mean, I think it's a good trade. I do. Okay. So this might be a good turn to get the Stalwart down, get the Thicket down tapped, and then power up an Incubator. How do you guys feel about that? So I guess first thing we want to do is power up the Incubator. It'll be a 3/3, and they would want to remove, yeah, they would want to remove Inquisitor before we get the power up, but then what's great about these is Go for the Throat doesn't hit them, so yeah, we have Destroy Evil open, but no, I think we'll go tapped. I think we'll get the Stalwart down. It's good ramp. It's good stuff, man, because next turn, I mean, we could honestly, do we swing or save blocker? Either way, the Harvester can take this out. I don't necessarily want to take 3, but I do think we can actually outpace this, whatever it may be. Proving ground, so I guess some Jund here, huh? I like getting the Exarch down as a potential 5-mana card here. I think that could be sweet. Oh, big score. Graveyard Trespasser. Okay, I got a little concerned there that this is going to be a Reanimator deck all of a sudden. Actually, it still might be, but they might not have seen the Reanimator card in their hand that they wanted to see. Depending on what's in their hand, though. Okay. Cruelty of Gix. So it is technically a Reanimator build. Jund. So probably like, what, Titan of Industry and stuff. Creature. Oh, my Mondrak. That would have been sick, but I mean, I was probably going to go Exarch anyways. As a one-of, it would have been relatively hard to keep the Mondrak on the board. I mean, I guess we'd have the Indestructible ability. Yeah, maybe it would have been the Mondrak. Good choice, opponent. I think that was good. I was going to overlook it and go right into the Exarch anyways, but I think that was a good choice. Yeah, if we take 3, they got to be careful because, yeah, we can start powering up these other Incubators and then we really start to outpace them. Okay. Destroy Evil can take out Cruelty. We definitely want to consider that. Before they grab something important. And reanimate, right? So, power up. That's 2, that's 2. The Exarch isn't coming down. Unless I do it as a 3, which could be pretty good. So let's take out the Cruelty. I mean, they have 2 treasure open, and they haven't shown that they're running blue, so I doubt it's anything fancy. Excuse me, guys. Now the question here is, I mean, if they accept this trade, that's fine. Power up that. Still go Exarch. Incubate 3. Do we go for the swing over the Exarch and try to incubate more times next turn? I think so. Okay, spot removal for Inquisitor. It's going to be a simple cut down. Okay. Can I do this on top of it? I can. I can't. That's cool, man. Can I? Yeah, there you go. Pay 2. You want to tap down Stalwart and Inquisitor that's about to die. That's pretty cool, man. Now they could put another cut down on top, but that's not worth it. So we do all the extra taps to make sure it gets the extra counter. So that's pretty neat. And They trade, take 3. Okay. They have 2 cards in hand. They have the blood tokens to filter. They have treasure. I'm waiting for that Titan of Industry to smack on this board, man. Based on the cruelty, they do have the 3 green sources with the treasure token. Go for the throat. See, it doesn't hit these incubators. Okay, Trespasser. Luckily, we still have the 3/3, so... I don't know, man. This one's definitely anyone's game, though. They can find something huge at any point. That's pretty good. Glistening Dawn's pretty good, man. What do I want to do here? Because we do have 1, 2, 3. If we wanted to incubate 3 times, 7 mana total. Probably want to swing. And then we can only incubate twice off of this. Glistening Dawn would probably be the better bet then at that point. See if they trade. I doubt it, right? Probably take the 3 down to 10. Oh, they do trade. Wow. Okay. I guess Glistening Dawn is still the best bet over the Exarch, right? We could actually play a 1 mana Exarch. But we'll have enough mana regardless here. We can power that up. Okay. Okay, pretty solid, man. Pretty solid. I don't want to play this out as a 1 mana. I don't think that would be worth it. We do have the mana to do that and power up an incubator token too, so... Oh, Crucible, that could have been great for chump blocking, but I guess they want to see something a little bit better here. Yeah, still have 2 cards in hand. Anything could happen, man. Atali, yeah, that'll help. Crap. Let's hope that they don't hit anything great from us. We don't have too much top end. We got to be realistic there. We got a lot of 1s and 2s, so... Okay, Blood Tithe. Ooh, Vatkeeper. That's middle ground, I would say. Pretty good, man. Atali's gonna help them wrap this up quite nicely. Because these are just 6/6s, so they're not getting around the Atali well. Okay, let's see what we draw. Mana. Oh, no. Yeah, seeing the Atali there. I mean, that shows the power of blood tokens, man. They filtered a few times with it. Or 1 time? Really sure. So we gotta hope that they don't have anything else strong. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So X is 3. This is worth it, right? Because we might be able to still go wide enough here. Man, could you imagine if we saw Jinnie Faye this game? Alright, guys. If we powered up the other incubator here, instead of creating another one here, I think that would have been detrimental, because we still have a chance of seeing another Norn's Inquisitor off the top, and getting one of these to a 7/7 might be essential for the Atali. We just power it up as a 6/6 and swing with both of our 6/6s. They have trades for days. Oh man, opponent is seeing their top end now, guys. Oh no. We need to see something terrific. I don't exactly know what it would be, but it needs to be really good. This would be one of those board states where a board wipe would be terrific for us. Since we have all these incubator tokens, like wipe the board, power up the incubators. They use the 2 mana from the Chandra to power up their incubator that they got from our Vatkeeper. Nice, dude. This has to be the opponent's, right? I think so. They're not swinging. Oh! Fateful Absence off the top is huge, man. Oh, buddy. Look, is there a way to get the excess damage through? Because we might need to swing the Chandra, or take out Chandra for that matter. I think it's take out Atali, hope they don't reanimate it next turn, right? Power up everything. We got 1, and then 2, and then Exarch ability, right? Get a 3/3 here. They're going to be trading a lot. We can technically power this up with the Stalwart, but then we're tapping one of these down. Instead, if we swing with the Stalwart, it might be an extra damage. We're going all to face. We're forcing blocks. They're going to have removal with Chandra. I think it's risky not taking out the Chandra, but okay, they're gonna, oh, okay, this is good. They're just chump blocking, taking 4 to face. So if we would have full swung, they could have done this and saved the Chandra anyways. But now they have the X ability for removal. They decide to take out Stalwart, take 6 to face. This is a tricky block for them, man. So they can't successfully. If they take out a 6/6, they're taking 12 down to 1. So they decide to spread it out and keep the Vatkeeper. We still have another incubator here. One of the worst things they could find is a board wipe, like an effective board wipe that actually hits, because even if they find, like if they got to burn down the house, it doesn't hit the 6/6 Phyrexians here. The simplicity of finding spot removal, man. I'll tell you what. That was good. That was a really good draw for us. Their Go for the Throat can hit our Progenitor. Brotherhood's End. Yeah, there's the board wipe. Oh! It destroys artifacts. That's right. Oh no! We both had a really good draw. But this is the opponent's, guys. Now I literally can't imagine. Okay, alright, let's cycle this out. Because now they get to keep the Chandra. Oh, Norn's Inquisitor. We see something that generates? So they still have the Go for the Throat for the turn, right? Or is that just in general? Wait, where'd they get this from? I think so, the top 5 cards. Cast an instant or sorcery. Okay. Alright. Gotta be real with you guys. That's a pretty good draw, man. I'm gonna wait. No, we're gonna do it now, so that way they can't take out the Inquisitor, and at least it's a 3/3. I was gonna say, if they see another Brotherhood's End off the top, then again, they don't really need to, do they? Yeah, Chandra's just gonna run away with this. Even if they didn't have hope of finding something, they could have used this bottom ability. Chandra Hope's Beacon deals X damage to each of up to 2 targets, so I mean that can help them close up the game too. Restock their hand, big score. Dude, opponent's deck looks super scary. I feel like we both drew the cards we needed to see when we needed to see them. But the opponent's just, yeah, the Brotherhood's End was kind of insane, man. It really was. It was looking good, but it was a back and forth battle. I'm gonna go one more draw. Wow, breach the multiverse, because why not at this point? Oh, buddy. Dude, the opponents are bringing the heat today, huh? So probably the Atali from theirs, and I wonder what they hit in ours. Did they hit one of the Glissas? Hey, there's a Jinnie Fae. Oh, Mondrak would be a cool one to pick. Yeah, Mondrak Atali. Alright, guys. As long as they wrap up the game next turn, you guys know I like to see the top card, but if you don't like to stick these ones out, always feel free to skip ahead in the video. We do got chapters at the bottom of the video, like when you're scrolling over, there's the chapters, or in the description, there's timestamps too. Always feel free to skip ahead to the next match. I usually like to stick these games out just to see all the available options and everything. Also, sometimes it's just fun to swing, and like it doesn't always happen. Like the opponent has a really great board state that they might not actually get to swing with here. So they hit another Brotherhood's End and our Jinnie Fae. They're stealing our deck, guys. The monsters. They're swinging. Suit of the Empire. Pass it on over and let them get this fun swing. So they have our Mondrak, our Old Rutstein, and our Jinnie Fae. Oh man, this is so cool, man, because our Old Rutstein generated the token, and it generated twice, so they get the 2/3/1s, which they could have actually just given haste there. Let's drop them the GGs, because I think they're playing around our 1 card in hand for some reason. Oh, there they go, there they go. Yeah, GGs. This was a good time, honestly. Like, sometimes I might as well use this too. I choose the one target where they can give it indestructible. Ah, there we go, there we go. I thought they might as well. They might as well sacrifice the poor little puppies over here for the Mondrak, but back and forth there for a little bit, but I think we can get there, man. There's a little bit of power packed in. I keep bringing it up. Every time we play with the incubators, dude, like, the incubator cards are just waiting to be broken. They can be so ridiculously powerful, but I guess as long as Brotherhood's End is being played a lot, which I think it actually is, right? Because there's so much mono red in soldiers, you got to see that early... Oh... You got to see that early removal or early board wipe. I think Brotherhood's End has a good chance of seeing a lot of play, so it depends. Because yeah, that wipes out the incubators. I don't think there's too much to complain about here other than we don't have a lot of our top end, but we have a good chance. This is a pretty sweet lineup, man. Jinnie Fey, huh? Okay. So if we go Briefcase, we'll have 2 open. If we don't want to use Briefcase to ramp, it generates an extra token. I think it's better just to go Inquisitor and save Briefcase for after Jinnie Fey. Like, we didn't get to do anything fancy there, because it could have been Briefcase, tap down 2 creatures, and use the treasure for Inquisitor. We'd have an extra token on the board, but then nothing for when Jinnie Fey hits, so... Okay. Keep Crucible, play Jinnie Fey, and be happy about it. Yeah. Not too much to complain about there, I would say. We actually have, if Stalwart gets to remain, we have the ramp into the Herald, which is really cool. A deck that runs Ossification probably has a lot of removal. Probably all 4 Ossifications. We're probably looking at some kind of enchantment build here. Another Garden. Wow, passes back with 2 open. Glistening Dawn. Dude. Oh, man. All right, well, Crucible... Even though I like that token generation, I mean, how can we pass this up, huh? We might just want to go the Herald, though, instead. Because Glistening Dawn is solid either way. Transform. We're going to incubate 2 twice. It's at the beginning of combat, so... I like the ramp here, dude. It's not like they have blue, so it's not going to be a counter. Could still be instant speed removal for the Jinnie. I mean, something's holding it, right? Okay, incubate 2 twice. So cool, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude. Look at that. Oh, man. A Glistening Dawn. If Jinnie Fey survives, dude. Back up to 10. Okay, some life gain. What this could mean... is a board wipe. Luckily, well... Okay, they found their 4th. Mirrex. They have double white, so it could easily be a board wipe. Easily. Although we're seeing the 5-mana board wipe more than the 4, so... Hey, GG opponent. Oh my goodness, dude. That's pretty nasty. That's like... I mean, look at this. Yeah, if they didn't have... Okay, let's think about this for a second. If they did find the board wipe for the turn, we would have drawn, because that's what the 4-mana board wipe does. Dude, I've been struggling so hardcore with card names. I apologize, guys. I have no idea. Oh, depopulate. Okay, there we go. Yes, depopulate. It would draw us a card at least, right? It would have Glistening Dawn for the next turn, so incubating X twice where X is 4 isn't half bad, and we had a chance of seeing a land off the top, so it would be X is 5, and so on the turn after that, we'd be able to power up those incubators. They're kind of sort of safe. They'd need like a Wandering Emperor open at that point. I don't know, man. That was looking solid. We're almost 40 minutes in. We're going to try to get one fast one in. I mean, that was pretty fast. And, I mean, I think the deck has it in it, man. I think we can have another fast game. It's like I said when I was going over the deck. I think it's going to be pretty important to see Jinnie Fey. And that really showcased it, man. And even if Jinnie Fey died there, that was looking solid. We go first. 25 mana in the deck, guys. There's a really good chance we see the mana. Briefcase also helps us out, though. Worst comes to worst, we just use the Briefcase to ramp. Oh, hello, opponent. Skip Briefcase for the turn to get the Garden down. The Garden obviously would have been better if we had it for turn 1, but I think this is fine too. Skipping Briefcase for a Jinnie potential to get better tokens from the Briefcase is pretty solid. We don't have the black source for the Old Rutstein. Jinnie probably eats spot removal. Liliana, crap, okay. Liliana's bad news. The sacrifice is really bad. We double down on Briefcase, we could ramp. Ooh, okay. Stalwart. Glistening Dawn. I kind of like the Glistening Dawn play because we can power up both of them next turn, try to take this out. We do something a little fancy though. We go Briefcase. Oh, Stalwart doesn't have haste. That was close. It was a tough decision, man. Double Briefcase isn't that bad. It really isn't. At least we get the 1/1s, and worst comes to worst, we might be able to... No, yeah, I don't know. We could still go Briefcase, get the Stalwart down. Now we're wide enough to full swing at Liliana, but they could easily have removal here. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't the Jinnie play. We saw what Jinnie could do in the last game. Okay, Rutstein, you're out of here, man. I hope they don't take the Glistening Dawn from us too. Uh-huh. Well, that's concerning. I'll take the 3. If we chump, it could be spot removal, and we're gonna need the full swing at the Liliana. That's my guess, at least. We could actually play all of this, but I'd rather full swing at Liliana to make sure. They would need double spot removal to save it, so... Yeah, we technically had enough mana to save it, so cut down number 1. Like I said, they need double spot removal to save the Liliana. That'll do it. At least they're not doing the sacrifice ability, but we are going to lose the Norn's Inquisitor now. Or we go Inquisitor, power up the token, and lose the Glistening Dawn. I'd rather lose the Norn's Inquisitor, right? I think so. Yeah, the worst case scenario there would have been a Spell Pierce as well, but at least they were tapped out. I think Make Disappear is much more likely in a list like this. Have the +1. Inquisitor's gone. Aha, Make Disappear, there we go. So the, yeah, using all their mana for spot removal there. Proving Ground, okay. Power up. We might want to save Proving Ground to cycle. So go for the Throat. Now we should play it in case they play Liliana number 2. So go for the Throat doesn't hit either of these, and neither does Cut Down, so let's just hope. Keep one back. Swing there. We keep one for a blocker for the underdog. Let's just hope that they don't have regular old removal. Okay, Soaring City. Crap, guys. Okay, now they have the -2. We play the mana because they could just plus the Liliana, and now they keep the blocker back for underdog. So I guess I should have... Wow, dude, another cut down. Oh, buddy. I guess technically that's only 4 pieces of spot removal, but I mean, that was pretty... that was pretty lucky, I guess, right? Oh, good draw, dude. Look at us. Getting great draws here, man. We might just want to hold back and use that ability next turn. Alright, let's see what they find. Hopefully not more removal, right? Invasion. Oh, nice. Yeah, we're going to use the Vatkeeper's ability and double the Incubator counters there. Because there's no guarantee we're going to see anything great here. Do we let them hit that? Or do we take out the underdog with the... No, we'll let them hit that. I have like... We have to be prepared for any draw from them, as it looks like it is gonna be removal tribal, right? The Mire removal tribal. I'm afraid to play the Stalwart. I am. I'm afraid to swing with the Vatkeeper at this point. There's a good chance that they just spot remove the 4/4. Very mastermind. That's gonna get around to get the Amonkhet. Oh crap, guys. We might need to draw on Briefcase. I shouldn't use that. Amonkhet's going to grab them. See, it's gonna be a 4/4. Nothing great from their grave. Old Rutstein would be a good one. Save that back. Yeah, dude, just a flash flying creature to make sure the Amonkhet flips. I'm scared, man. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this lined up pretty nicely for the opponent. And I mean, look at the deck. Is it not gonna line up nicely? Usually, no. That's a lot of removal, man. They go for the Norn's Inquisitor. Okay. Unfortunately, the Stalwart is the blue source, so we can't draw on the Briefcase yet. Losing all those cards earlier was rough. They could still see Liliana off the top, so we should play all the land. Plus, we want to play all the land in a deck like this anyways, so... we're at 8. We're on the run, man. We're on the run. We need to see something great, and hopefully the Stalwart actually gets us that draw then when it comes time. And they need to, like, see land or something. Ooh. Oh. Okay. I'm not going to cycle that out yet because, like I said, they could find the second Liliana. Sheoldred is a pain in the butt, dude. Oh my goodness. This has got to be the opponent's, right? Swing 2 in the air because they can play the long game now. I should have filtered one before Sheoldred hit the board. And now we're going to take 6 when we do the Briefcase. Crap, dude. Well, ooh. Well, that could have been cool, I guess. Phyrexians, First Strike, Death Touch, Transform, Incubate twice. Let's drop them the good game and draw and let Sheoldred do the thing. Let's let Sheoldred do the thing, man. But I also kind of want to see what we have here. Nice indeed, yeah. Oh, Fateful Absence. It's too late, the Sheoldred triggers are already on the stack, but still, that's pretty cool. Vatkeeper, Jinnie Fae. Okay, let's go talk about this build, huh? I feel like there might actually be some power here. I definitely could have played it out better. Oh, man. There were some early plays there, especially, like, okay, wait, hold on. Let me get to the deck before I start rambling about it here. Okay. 4 color tokens. Jinnie Fae's Incubators, right? Jinnie Fae's ridiculous, man. If this survives, it's looking good for you. If it survives by some miracle, right? You take a look at that last deck list and you cry a little bit inside because that was a lot of removal. The Soaring City was right on time. If that Soaring City wasn't there, it was probably leaning towards us quite heavily. I think that was the point. That was the shift, right? Because the Soaring City let their Liliana survive that extra turn that they needed, which happened to let the trade go through perfectly. Actually, dude, just the whole game lined up really well for the opponent because anytime I was like, oh yeah, we'll keep this back to block, then they had the flying in the air that flashed down, right? So that's one of those things where if that was a meta build, we would have maybe known to play around some of that stuff too. Right now, today's decks were pretty cool, man. A little bit off meta. So props to all the opponents for playing something a little different. Even though I kind of sort of set the deck up to go up against what we've been seeing for the last couple weeks, which of course is, you know, Selesnya enchantments and stuff. And I think we'd be all right against Selesnya enchantments overall. It's one of those things too, if like best of one had a sideboard, then more Unleash the Inferno and stuff would be packed in there, and some board wipes too, right? So overall, I really like the deck list. Yeah, Jinnie Faye's just nasty, dude. When like it works so well with the incubator tokens, I love it. Glissa Herald of Predation was pretty cool. I don't think I like the 3 of necessarily, though. I could see going down to 2 and going up more spot removal at that point, though. I don't know. It really depends what you're seeing, because today, I don't think the extra spot removal would have done as much as we would have hoped. Maybe like the extra Destroy Evil, but again, depends what you're seeing. Today was an interesting day, and everyone was playing something a little different. Elvish Vatkeeper is pretty cool. I like that it's like a decent body, a 3-mana 3/3 that also comes out with the Incubator token, which works well with pretty much everything in here. Like if you got the early Exarch, right? If you got this on turn 1 or something, turn 2 Inquisitor, turn 3 Vatkeeper. Now the mana is obviously pretty... I guess it's greedy, but we didn't have any issues with the mana today. The biggest issue was at the end there, needing the blue source for the Briefcase, which we had on Stalwart, but then they had the Shieldred before we could actually get that draw. It's not like we would have drawn into anything great anyways. At that point, the only thing that would have saved us is a board wipe, which the deck isn't running, so maybe we should go up a board wipe, but it's really hard to find room in a deck like this. Overall, I guess it is janky, but it was a fun one. I think there's a lot of moments where you actually could just run away with the game quite easily. I think things could have lined up a little bit better for us today overall. What do you guys think? I guess a little, while I don't like to blame luck, I do feel like we got a little unlucky in some of those. Right, yeah, let's talk about that lineup real quick. Exarch, Inquisitor, Vatkeeper. So Exarch has that bottom ability to transform target incubator token. If you go into turn 2 Inquisitor, turn 3 Vatkeeper, you incubate 2 on both of these, and then you can use the Exarch's ability to power up a 3/3. And then next turn, you can do that all again and play like a Jinnie Faye or something else with your 3 mana. Dude, that's disgusting, man. That seems like that's the power level of that lineup seems kind of insane, right? So I also, even though I do feel like we got a little unlucky there, I also could have played it out a little bit better too. And there were some optimized plays we could have had with the Stalwart, right? So keep an eye on that. If you end up playing with a deck like this, or playing a deck with Stalwart in general, keep an eye on optimized plays with it, because I feel like I could have done a little bit more with this card. I did not do it justice today, I don't think. Anything else to go over? I do like the Fateful Absence as the removal, although, like I said, it's not going to happen too often. Like, you can target your own stuff for the tokens for the Jinnie Faye or the Mondrak, but it's not going to happen too often, is it? But I still think it's a solid removal. If you drop it for, like, Go for the Throat, you do have to, like, you have to remember I did put the mana base together based on what we see here. So if you have early black with a Go for the Throat, then some of the mana base might hold you up like multiple thickets a couple turns in a row, right? So just something to consider. Alrighty, guys. Hey, if you made it this far into the video, then for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.